Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back to do with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you a quick recap of the Hardened Pittsburgh results as well as the PTI event that was conducted the next day. Kind of talk about the first major event we've had since Lexi Living Legend, and just kind of give us a little bit of a preamble going into Worlds. Yes, the small sample size, but it gives us a little bit of cool discussion points. We'd love to get your thoughts on it as a community, and we'll get right into it. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. If you're a long-staying supporter, thank you so much as always. Feel free to check out the Patreon and the Discord down below, as well as check out my Twitter. I have it up here. I am on the Savage Feats page, but I'm using my Twitter. I normally don't promote my other socials, but I do talk a lot of flesh and blood on there. So if you're on Twitter and you want to give me a follow, feel free to interact with me. Let me know you came from the video, and we'll talk about some stuff. So, again, before we talk about the results of the events, I wanted to highlight Savage Feats. This is done by Mansant and his team over, and they're just doing amazing work. Go follow their stuff. Go follow Savage Feats. Go follow their YouTube channel as well, and they have a website. They're just really becoming the lifeblood of showing people big events and having access to cool streams. Yanji Lee and Naib did amazing job casting this weekend. It was really fun to watch, and yeah, just give them a look. But I wanted to kind of go over this. So this is the Hardened Pittsburgh 115 player 7-round event, then cut to top 8. Pretty significant size Hardened, to be honest. And yes, it's a Hardened level. It's not calling, it's not Worlds or anything like that, or Nationals, but it is the first major event we've had since Lexi Living Legend, and people were kind of curious as to what was going to happen. And we'll kind of go over it. So Bravo was the leading deck represented here, which is not something I was going to expect. I did expect Bravo to be in the top 2, top 3, but I didn't expect him to be like the resounding number 1 choice. I think Bravo is kind of a go-to pick in a new kind of fresh meta because he's just a solid, good, really good hero that's usually in like the A tier-ish realm. But with a lot of people coming off of Lexi, I was expecting a lot of the Lexi players to go to aggro, right? Play Dash.io, play Katsu, play Phi, even maybe go to Dromai, who knows? I was not expecting Bravo to be the most represented. Dromai being second made complete sense. Icelander being third is very interesting. I thought Icelander would be up there, but honestly, like if you would have told me like what are the top 3 represented, I probably would have said Dromai, Bravo, and then maybe like Katsu Dash.io was probably my third. But Icelander being third was very interesting. She does have some good play into a lot of the meta, which is really nice. So it was good to see her up there. And the next one was Reinhardt. Now, Reinhardt comes with a caveat. There's 2 sides to this. One, I keep telling people Reinhardt is the dark horse for Worlds. I'm not saying Reinhardt's an S-tier deck by any means, but Reinhardt has a lot of play into a lot of the top decks. It has good play into Bravo. But depending on who you ask, both sides will say they're favored. It has really good play into Dromai, obviously. Even good play into Icelander because it takes away her ability to like value block. She has to really rely on like heavy disruption to even have a chance. And aggro, although not favored, is winnable. And a lot of the successful Reinhardt lists you're seeing are these more fatigue-y, not playing for fatigue, but fatigue-oriented, slower-oriented Reinhardt builds that are value blocking really heavily, using D-reacts, and then playing around Blood Rush Bellow turns. So I do know that Dex, who made top 8, we'll talk about here in a second, ended up doing really well at the event. Said that this area in Pittsburgh is like brute land, he says, in PA. Like he said every Reinhardt with the exception of like one was local, so really heavy brute presence there anyway, so that probably helped. And then you have Katsu, Dash, and Phi rounding out the next, and that was expected. I did expect a couple more Dash, but again, it's Hardened. And then kind of going down the list, the only other notable is Prism and Max were not represented. I actually was surprised that Max was not represented. We have seen coming off the top 8 performance at Melbourne, I was expecting like 1 or 2, to try to take their hand at it, but alas, maybe it's just like the local meta there. But when you got in the top 8, this is what we had. So we had 2 Reinhardt make it. Michael Feng ended up playing Reinhardt, which is pretty crazy. And then we also had Dex, who I spoke about before. Dex, really fantastic player. So 2 Reinhardts, 2 Bravos, a Dromai, a regular OG Dash, a Dash.io, and an Icelander. So I think the first one we ended up watching, I think the top 8 match we watched was Dex's match, which he ended up taking in a really close match. I think that fatigue-oriented Reinhardt list is actually really poised to do well in a Dash. It has item hate. It has the ability to block out effectively. Dash has to really play a really clean, efficient game and get good draws in order to win. And I think Dex just played that to perfection. Joe on Icelander, really, really good Icelander player, apparently has been on the hero for a long time, which most successful Icelander players you're seeing have been on the hero for a long time. Ended up pulling out his match. Rose, she ended up beating Michael Fang. Rose did extremely well throughout the regular event as well as the PTI, so congrats to them. And then Guy coming off the back of the Calling Dallas win, obviously in top 8, doing well. And then top 4, Rose ended up pulling out a nail biter against Guy. Extremely fun game to watch. And then Joe ended up winning on Icelander. And then finally it was Rose versus Joe in the final, and Icelander was able to eke it out in a very, very close game. Now, Rose's list got a lot of popularity. Give a lot of credit to them. Did a really good job. It was more of like a slower paced item Tree Frog Dash build. And then Joe just had a really good Icelander match. I don't think we saw Joe and Dex's match on stream for top 4. I would be interested to hear how that went. Because I think Reinhardt is slightly favored in Icelander if she doesn't get like Insidious chills out and isn't able to disrupt very easily. But regardless, really cool event. 114 players. Yes, it's a small sample size. I'm not saying this is going to be the world's meta, but it does show you like other heroes getting up in there. Reinhardt doing really well. Bravo finally converting really well. Only one Dromai. So really cool to see that. Then we had the PTI. The PTI went a lot different. So Bravo still was dominating the meta share, which is pretty crazy. Maybe there's just a lot of Guardian players up in there. Guardian Brute. Dromai, a lot more Dash IO in the PTI event. A couple more Azalea, to be honest. And again, no max representation, which was really interesting. Like even the fact of the regular Battle Hardened that we saw a max, but not a Viscerai, but not a max is pretty nutty to me. But no Max, no Prism, no Levia, no Viscerai in the PTI. 58 players, 6 rounds with a cut to top 8. And in this one, it was a little bit more dominated by certain heroes. We had 2 Dromais, and we had 4 Bravos, a Dorinthia, and a OG Dash. Rose again on OG Dash, making really good head waves. Ended up making top 8, but falling to Hayden. Michael won. So we had a Bravo mirror and a Dromai mirror in the top 4. So guaranteed Bravo Dromai final. The Zoe versus Natalie match in top 4 was awesome. They both played an amazing game. It was super fun, back and forth. Both of them seemed to be on really fast Empress builds. So what is normally a like really grindy Remembrance, bring Dragon back matchup, they were just smacking each other in the face. It was super fun to watch. Really, really talented players on both sides. Really enjoyed watching that matchup. It's one of the few mirrors I like watching is the Dromai matchup. And then we had Dromai versus Bravo, which is just a grind fest, and Zoe played phenomenally, did really, really well against Michael. And Michael started off a little bit ahead, but Zoe got their Dragon Engine going, had triple burn them all at the end of the game, and just burnt. They tumultied Michael's Nolan boots and then ended up triple burning all to end the game. It was super, super good. But really, really good games all around. This doesn't mean a whole lot for Worlds. I do think that Reinhardt is going to be represented pretty well. I think a lot of people are practicing Reinhardt. Now, whether they pull the trigger and go with Reinhardt to Worlds, that remains to be seen. But regardless, I think Reinhardt is a solid pick. Bravo is going to be really interesting to see. There's so many psyops right now with Bravo. Some people are saying he's bad. Some people are saying he's good. We'll have to see what people bring. I do think the meta is pretty wide open, though. I think, honestly, Dromai is still the best deck in the format in a vacuum for you talk about complete share of, matchup spread. But when you take into account 7 rounds of draft, anything can happen, right? I mean, if you're a I'm just going to say a random hero. If you're a Vincent and you happen to go, you start the day going 3-1 in your CC rounds, and then you go undefeated in draft, all of a sudden you're a top table Vincent, right? That's why the Worlds is so much fun, because you have to be multi-skilled, multifaceted to do well and be successful. So really, really interesting. For me, I don't know who's going to win. I still think there will be a Reinhardt in the top 8. I think Bravo and OG Dash you should watch out for. And then you have like the old obvious culprits. But hopefully we get some cool different heroes in the top 8. That would be really cool. But let me know what your thoughts are on the event. Really excited to watch Worlds this weekend. I will be traveling home to see some family in Virginia, so the first night I'll be watching. I'm going to make a couple videos today ahead of time so you all have some content this week, but I'll be out most of the week, coming back fresh off of Worlds, having some fun. I'll be home in time for the top 8, but I'll have to watch day 1 and day 2 from Virginia. But regardless, hopefully enjoyed your time in this video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. We're really close to 3K subs. It'd be really fun to get that milestone for the channel and do some giveaways with. I'm gonna do some playmat giveaways. I have so many playmats just sitting in the back that I'd be fun to give away on the channel. So we'll go ahead and do that and just have some fun with it. But yeah, thank you all so much. If you don't leave a like, comment, subscribe on this channel, it's totally fine. Go into our creator. We're getting towards the end of the year. A lot of people are trying to do some milestones and some, see channel wrap-ups and see how their year went. Go make someone else's day. Leave a like, comment, subscribe on their stuff so we can get more people seeing this game. And, yeah, I'll be watching Worlds with y'all, and I'll see y'all next time on TC Talk. Thank y'all so much.